Hello! Hi y'all, welcome back to another episode of Technically Adulthood with Jewell Simone. Of course, that's me, your host. Who else would it be? Jewell Simone, in the flesh, coming at you live. I'm Radio Rebel. Welcome back. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being here. It's great to see you. Okay, I cannot go another second without talking about this and expressing how I feel, and I know that this person that I'm about to start talking about is my number one fan. I love you, okay? This is not changing that. It's not anything, but something needs to be addressed. I'm talking about my mother. Of course I'm talking about my mother. I always talk about my mother. I feel like I should have her on the show. I talk about her enough. You guys should meet her if you've never met her. She's great. She's cool. That's not what this is about. It's not about how cool she is. Listen, my mom has been approaching me with so much hostility lately. Like, I'm wondering if anyone else is going through this. Like, it doesn't matter what she's saying. It's hostile. Like, in the morning, good morning, wake up. It's time to wake up. Like, hostile. If she wants to, like, ask me something nice, like, if she wants to ask me, like, to get lunch, she'll be like, well, have you eaten? Are you hungry? Like, I honestly am living every day, not only in fear for my life, but I feel like I'm on an episode of the Bad Girls Club. Like, I imagine, you guys know I've always wanted to be on reality TV. I'm there. I'm living it. This is the Bad Girls Club, and mom is the one that wants to fight everyone at every time. I'm like, if you want to fight me, just say that. But the thing is, why do you want to fight me? Like, I'm your daughter. Why would you want to fight me? But I guess that's how it works in the Bad Girls Club. Like, you don't get to choose who acts how. I guess that's why they call it the Bad Girls Club. So, guys, I need help. And if anything ever happens to me, God forbid, like, if I ever get in a fight, I've never been in a fight before, but my first fight might be with my mom. Unfortunately, because I'm living in the Bad Girls Club, and I literally feel like she wants to fight me. But, like, it's only in the mornings too. Like, maybe she's just grumpy. I don't know. I don't know what it is, but just like in the first things she says to me are always hostile and always grumpy. And I'm like, hello? But guys, actually, this is perfect. Maybe she's texting me because I've been meditating. I actually have been, like, keeping up with my list. Maybe I should do an update on that for those of you guys who listened to that episode where I just, like, sort of outlined everything that I want to change about myself to make myself a better person. On that list was meditation, and I have been meditating, and I don't even, like, respond to her back with, like, attitude. Like, I'm totally zen when she comes at me sideways. Like, I'm just zen about it. So that 100% can be attributed to meditation. And you know what, guys? Not to brag on myself, not to flex, but I held my tongue the other day. I was at a restaurant and we had a really bad server, and that's, like, one of my pet peeves in life. I just hate, like, rude servers. I just don't understand it. I don't think it's necessary, and I don't like it. But it's also such an uncomfortable situation because, like, they're in control of your food. Like, you can't sass them back. And I have worked in customer service basically my whole life. Like, I'm not advocating being rude to customer service workers because they go through a lot, but if they're rude to me, sometimes, you guys know I have road rage, sometimes I might, like, get a little sassy back. But you can't really be sassy with someone who's, like, in control of your food. I've read too many, like, gross stories or, like, confessions from fast food workers online. I'm good. I'm gonna smile in your face even if you're being rude to me. And you know what? There was a waitress that was super rude to me. Not just me, just everyone. She just, like, was super weird and, like, not kind. And I didn't even, like, let it bother me. Like, it just kind of rolled off my back. Although now that I'm thinking about it, if I'm still talking about it a week later, did it really roll off my back, or am I just holding into that anger and aggression? I don't know. I'll meditate on it tomorrow and I'll let you guys know next week. Anyway, my mother wants to fight me. What else? I have been feeling like going insane living with my parents. And actually, now that I'm saying it out loud, I feel like it might have a lot to do with the fact that Joshua just left, so I'm their only kid left in the house to watch. But I genuinely feel like a professional athlete the way my parents are like watching me and paying attention to my every move. Like, I have never, well, I guess I have because I lived with them before I moved out. Isn't that so funny? Like, people move out for college for 4 years. Half the time they're in a dorm, the other half they're in an apartment that their parents pay for, and they like act like they've never lived at home before. Like, love, you've lived at home more often than you haven't. Like, I don't know why I'm acting like, it's just like different. The standards are different. My expectations are different because I was on my own for 2 years. So I'm just a changed woman. Anyway, the way that these people are literally watching my every move and critiquing me, I feel like a professional athlete. Like how the broadcasters are watching the game and they're like, oh, he looks like he's getting tired. He's weak. He should have never passed the ball that way. That's a terrible play. He sucks. He sucks. They don't always say he sucks, but my parents do. Everything about my life and about my daily routine, like, they hate. And I literally am living off the front of my parents' brain rent-free. Like, I get to stay there rent-free in their mind, and my routine stays rent-free in their mind. What I eat stays rent-free in their mind. How late I sleep, how often I nap, everything about me is living in their mind rent-free. And they're not shy about letting me know that they don't really love the way that I'm living. My mom came in my room this morning on some Bad Girls Club mess, and she was like, I just feel like you should start living for the life you want, not the life you had. And I'm like half asleep, and I'm gonna say whatever I need to say to get her to leave me alone. So I'm like, what do you mean? Like, yeah, like I totally get it. And she's like, that just contradicted itself. What do you mean? Yeah, I totally get it. Welcome to the story of my life. Anyway, she's like, well, when you were in college, you could sleep till 11 o'clock and, not do anything, but you want to be in the professional world. You want to have a job. You want to work. So you should not be sleeping until 11. You should be waking up at 8 and getting showered and getting dressed and blah, blah, just like all this stuff, living for the life I wanted. And I know she's going to hear this, but by the time this comes out, it'll be like 2 weeks later, so I'm okay with this. It was actually really good advice, and I plan on implementing it into my daily life. Of course, I'm not going to say that to her face ever. I will never say that to her face, but it was good advice. So yeah, she's like kind of easing me into this like real world thing. I know I told you guys that I'm like working with them now, working with my mom individually, but then also working with my parents with their Foundation for Successful Marriages. They have a podcast. I'm doing a lot of like production assistant work for them. First of all, I love my parents. I think they're so cool. They're talking really reckless on their podcast. It's a podcast about relationships and marriage. Their nonprofit is called the Foundation for Successful Marriages, and the podcast is Life, Love, and Leadership. They're talking really reckless on this podcast, and it's like, I don't understand why they would hire their daughter to do work that requires her to listen to the podcast every day if they're going to be talking as reckless as they are. Like, I'm not going to get into super details. You guys can listen to the podcast if you really want to know like what I'm talking about. Specifically season 2, like episode 6. First of all, disgusting. Second of all, if I have to sit here and listen to my mom like call my dad a sexy dark chocolate milk dud, like what about me says that I needed to hear that? You know what I mean? Because I didn't. And I didn't want to hear that. And now I can never unhear that. And so now I'm telling you guys about it because if I can't unhear it, I need someone else to go through this with me. Do you follow? Great. So anyway, I'm doing all this work on my parents' podcast, and it's like a lot of work. Like, it's a really kind of like a heavy workload, like going from doing nothing all day, but like hanging out with Blake to now I have to make to-do lists, which like doesn't sound like that hard, but you don't need a to-do list when you're not doing anything. You know what I mean? So like the fact that I have enough things to make a to-do list in general is just like a huge life change for me. But on top of that, it's so weird. I'm like, how does a person with no job have this much to do? Like, I literally was with them in a 2.5-hour meeting on Sunday morning, this past Sunday. I'm like, is this what real life is like? Like, is this what I'm supposed to be working towards? Like, getting a job so I can do this? Like, you can have that. Unfortunately, you can have that. I've seen everything I needed to see. Immediately no. I sound like such a whatever right now. It's not the life for me. The classic 9 to 5 does not sound correct for me. To you and for me. I will say though, I've been working like all day and I'm excited because it was actually providing me with a lot of perspective. Like, I had so much stuff I needed to be doing for my mom / my mom and dad that I really like didn't have a lot of time to be active on my social media and like building my brain and doing my things. And I know that I was looking for some perspective a few episodes back about why I didn't have a job and blah blah blah. Like, this is allegedly what I'm doing for my parents is allegedly part-time. If I had a full-time job, there's no way I would have time to even work on anything for me. So I'm glad that like I have that perspective. And I mean, it's good work I'm doing. I'm building my portfolio, I guess, like whatever. It's fun working for my parents and working with my parents and blah, 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 blah. Okay. I said enough nice things about my parents. Love you guys. I feel like this whole episode is just me talking about my parents. So in a way, I guess they're living rent-free in my brain too, which is much to think about. You know, that's not really the direction I wanted my life to go in. And so I'm going to have to reevaluate some of my choices. But I literally, like, I don't have anything going on. Like, my brothers aren't here. All I do is hang out with my parents. That's my new normal. But I will say my parents are doing a 25th anniversary vow renewal in September, and I'm doing a lot of appointments with my mom, like just going to florist and venue and, you know, bride stuff. And every single place we go, they look at me and they're like, who's the bride? But like looking at me implying I'm the bride because I'm the young 20-something, eager-eyed, whatever. And it's like, no, actually, I don't have a boyfriend and I'm nowhere near marriage, but I do appreciate the reminder. So it's actually her. She's been in love for 25 plus years. She'll probably be in love for the rest of her life, but no, it's not me. I'm single. It's been at least a good year since I've even was in the talking stage with someone. So yeah, it's not me. Something, you guys must have got that mixed up. And honestly, I go through like waves of like whether or not I care if I'm single. I was having like some sad boy hours the other day, like, but okay, in hindsight, I was drinking wine and watching The Notebook, so I'm not even sure if that's sad boy hours as much as it's just sort of a natural chemical reaction. Like, you can't be like 2 glasses in and he's sitting there like, if you're a bird, I'm a bird, and not expect to feel extra single. Like, I'm over it by now. Whatever, my time will come. Actually, I'm back to waiting for Blake Griffin. My TikTok username is like Blake Griffin, please call me. I'm not kidding about that. That's really my name if you want to look me up, and go ahead and give me a follow. I post some funny stuff. Anyway, it's Blake Griffin, please call me, and it's been getting a lot of attention lately. Just people like in comment, if I comment on something, people will be like, oh my gosh, I love your username, LOL. And I'm like, well, I'm trying to manifest what I want for my life, so maybe it'll blow up enough, like the fact that have him as my username, it'll blow up and then he'll see it and he'll be like, hey, I just wanted to call you because I saw your username asked you wanted me to call you, so I wanted to call you because you're gorgeous. I saw you're just like so beautiful and you would make the perfect wife, and you're so smart and you're so creative and you're so funny and you're not like most girls, and you're just so amazing and incredible and indescribable. So we can get married. I already decided that when I get married to Blake Griffin, I'm changing my name to Payne Griffin, because I don't feel like Jewell Griffin sounds great, but Jewell Payne Griffin, it sounds a little bit better. So just like, you guys look out for that whenever that happens. But anyway, enough about me and enough about my life. I know it's my podcast, but let's stop talking about me. let's get to the meat and potatoes of what I'm really here to discuss today. I have been thinking a lot about life. And I know, okay? I say that every week, and every week it's true. But I've especially been thinking about just life and like timelines that we put in our lives, and I am super guilty of it. I've always wanted to, I already know I want to be married by X and kids by X and money, honey by X, whatever. And it just really has, for me, perpetuated this idea that life is shorter than it actually is. I feel like when you put those number limitations on yourself, you're shortening your life by however many years. I have seen such a phenomenon on TikTok recently, and I know I talk about TikTok a lot. If they wanted to sponsor me, they could. I would be so down for that. But just if people that are older and they're on social media and they are influencers, and it's it reinforces this idea that you literally have your whole life to live. You can live your life up until you're dead. There's no such thing as it's too late, I'm too old. You literally can live your life for your whole life. And that's something that I really have been seeing lately with these influencers. And especially I want to shout out Tabitha Brown. She blew up what seems like out of nowhere, but she's been working on this for over a decade. This is something she's been working towards, and it would be so easy for her to say oh, I have kids now, oh, I'm over 30, oh, I'm over 40, it's not gonna happen for me, I should just give up on my dreams. But no, she said she's literally now at the age of over 40. I don't know exactly how old she is, but she's a mom, she's got a teenage daughter, and her dreams are coming true. And it's you don't have to stop living your life just because you hit a certain age. And that's another thing. It's if you know what you are meant to do, just go for it. You don't have to see exactly how it's going to happen. And this always happens, but I'm talking to myself more than I'm talking to you guys. You don't have to see exactly how it's going to happen. You just have to know and believe that it can happen. My mom always says, whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. And I totally agree with that, because back to Tabitha Brown, she got she blew up on TikTok. She's had every single social media, but she blew up on TikTok. And that's I believe why she is where she is today. Nobody knew that TikTok was going to be a thing 10 years ago, but she knew that she was going to be an influencer. She didn't have to worry about, oh, I'm going to be on, Facebook or Instagram. She didn't have to worry about how it was going to happen. She just knew what she was going to do. And just because she couldn't see exactly what platform or whatever, nobody knew that was going to be a thing. She just knew that she was going to be what she is today. And so it's so crazy to me that I have such a hard time accepting that I can do things. Hold on, that's not sounding right. I have a hard time accepting that the older I get, you can still do things. Guys, this is what happens when someone tries to sound fake woke. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. But there's no age limit on living your life or finding success or anything like that. You have your entire life to live, so just live it to the fullest. Sorry, I get in these moods. I think when I get sleepy, I sing. That's all I have to say, you guys. This was fun, guys. Same time next week. Glad to have you here. I'm super excited that I'm gonna go live my life until I'm 100,000 years old, and I can't wait for all my dreams to come true. I'm sorry, I told you I get singing when I'm tired. Bye!
Bye.